Hey there, I'm Cassandra, and I've got a story that'll leave your head spinning. I'm a 30-year-old elementary school teacher, married to Michael for 5 years. We've been trying for a baby, forever, it feels like, but no luck? It's been a tough road, let me tell you. Cass, maybe we should consider other options, Michael said one night, his voice soft but serious. I nodded, feeling the strange mix of hope and fear. You mean, adoption? He smiled, squeezing my hand. Yeah, what do you think? My heart raced. I think it's perfect. The next day, I'm having coffee with my best friend, Olivia. She's a social worker, so she knows the ins and outs of adoption. So, you're really going through with it? Olivia asked, eyes wide. We are, I said, grinning. But there's just one problem. Olivia groaned. Let me guess. Victor? Ah, Victor. My father-in-law, the bane of my existence. If migraines had a human form, it'd be him. He's obsessed with carrying on the family name. I mimicked his pompous tone. When are you two having grandkids? I swear, he asks us every time we see him. Just then, my phone buzzed. Speak of the devil. Cassandra. Victor's voice boomed through the speaker. When are you and Michael coming over for dinner? We need to discuss the family's future. I rolled my eyes at Olivia. We'll be there, Victor. Actually, we have some news to share. After I hung up, Olivia looked worried. Are you sure you want to tell him about the adoption? I sighed. We have to. Better to rip off the band-aid, right? Later, as Michael and I were getting ready for the dreaded dinner, his sister Rebecca called. Good luck, she said. Dad's in rare form today. He's been going on about bloodlines all day. Michael glanced at me, concern in his eyes. Maybe we should wait. I shook my head. No, we need to do this. We can't let your dad control our lives. Taking a deep breath, I steeled myself. This dinner could change everything, but no matter what Victor said, I knew in my heart we were making the right choice. Ready? Michael asked, keys in hand. I nodded. Ready as I'll ever be. The big family dinner felt like walking to my own execution. Michael squeezed my hand as we walked in, but it didn't ease my nerves. As usual, Victor dominated the conversation. The Johnsons next door just had their third, he said between bites. Now that is a family, carrying on a legacy. I couldn't take it anymore. Actually, Victor, we have some news, I said, my voice firm. Michael nodded, taking a deep breath. Mom, Dad, we've decided to adopt. The silence that followed was suffocating. Then all hell broke loose. Adopt? Victor roared, slamming his fist on the table. Have you lost your minds? No grandchild of mine will be some stray picked up off the street. Dad, please, Michael began, but Victor cut him off. This is your doing, isn't it? Victor pointed at me, his eyes blazing with fury. Poisoning my son with this nonsense about adoption. What about our bloodline? Our legacy? I stood, my body shaking with anger. A child isn't a pedigree dog, Victor. Love makes a family, not DNA. Victor's face turned an alarming shade of purple. Get out, he hissed. Get out of my house, you family-wrecking witch. I looked at Michael, hoping, begging for him to say something, but he just sat there, eyes down, silent. Michael, I whispered, but he wouldn't look at me. I said get out, Victor bellowed, grabbing my arm. I yanked myself free, but as I moved toward the door, Victor slammed it shut on my fingers, sending a wave of searing pain through my hand. Still, Michael didn't move. My heart shattered as I stumbled outside. Suddenly, I felt a hard shove from behind. I tried to catch myself, but it was too late. I tumbled down the front steps, pain exploding through my body as I hit the ground. Through the haze, I heard screaming. Victor, what have you done? It was Elena's voice, shrill with panic. Rebecca was at my side in an instant. Cass, oh my God, are you okay? I tried to sit up. Everything hurts, I mumbled, barely conscious. Where's Michael? Through the haze, I could see his shocked face framed in the doorway, still standing inside, unmoving. The next few hours blurred together, a whirlwind of hospital rooms, police questions, and endless waiting. X-rays revealed a sprained wrist and some nasty bruises, but no broken bones. Small mercies, I suppose. Michael finally showed up, pale and shaken. Cass, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. Dad, I cut him off, my voice cold. Save it, Michael. You stood there and did nothing while your father assaulted me. I don't want to hear it. He reached for my hand, but I pulled away. I think you should go. The days that followed were rough. I stayed with Olivia, unable to face going home. Michael called and texted constantly, but I couldn't bring myself to respond. You need to report this, Olivia urged. Victor can't get away with what he did. I shook my head. It's my word against his. And you saw how Michael reacted. They'll probably back up whatever story Victor comes up with. That's when Victor's neighbor, Mr. Jenkins, knocked on the door. I heard what happened, he said, holding out his phone. I think you need to see this. There, on his security camera footage, was the truth. Victor shoving me down the stairs. I felt a wave of relief and dread. Finally, there was proof. But now I had a decision to make. As I stared at the footage, one thing became crystal clear. Nothing would ever be the same again. The days after the incident were like walking through a fog. I stayed at Olivia's place, unable to face going home. Michael's calls shifted from frequent to occasional, each one more distant than the last. Cass, you need to come home, he said during one call. Dad's really sorry. He wants to apologize. I scoffed. Apologize? He shoved me down the stairs, Michael. He says it was an accident. Maybe if I hadn't provoked him. I hung up, feeling sick to my stomach. Olivia found me crying on the couch later. That's it, she said, fire in her eyes. We're digging into Victor's past. This can't be the first time he's pulled something like this. We spent days combing through public records and making calls. What we uncovered was chilling. 3 domestic disturbance calls at their old address, Olivia read aloud. All mysteriously dropped. I shook my head, disbelieving. How does he keep getting away with this? Money and influence, Olivia sighed. But there's more. I called a friend at the adoption agency. Victor's been sniffing around, asking about ways to disqualify applicants. My blood ran cold. He was trying to sabotage our adoption. That was the last straw. I marched over to the house, my house, and found Michael there. What's going on, Michael? Why are you letting your father control our lives? Michael wouldn't meet my eyes. You don't understand, Cass. Family is everything to Dad. He just wants what's best. Best? I exploded. He assaulted me, and now he's trying to stop us from adopting. That's not true, Michael muttered, his voice growing defensive. You're blowing things out of proportion. I stared at him, the man I thought I knew suddenly a stranger. Who are you? What happened to the man I married? Michael's face hardened. Maybe that man finally grew up, realized the importance of family legacy. Legacy, I scoffed. Is that what we're calling abuse now? You know what? Michael snapped. I can't do this anymore. I want a divorce. The world stopped. A divorce? Dad's right. We want different things. And frankly, I'm tired of your lies about him. I left in a daze, barely able to comprehend how my life had fallen apart so spectacularly. The next day, Rebecca showed up at Olivia's, looking nervous. I found something, she whispered, handing me a flash drive. Dad's been intervening in family matters for years, sabotaging relationships, controlling inheritances, all to protect the bloodline. I scrolled through the files, my horror growing with each new revelation. Rebecca, how long have you known? She looked away. Too long. I'm sorry, Cass. I should have said something sooner. As she left, I felt a spark of determination ignite within me. Victor had controlled this family for too long. It was time to stop him. I turned to Olivia. I need your help. We're going to expose Victor. We can't let him hurt anyone else. Olivia grinned. I thought you'd never ask. What's the plan? As we started plotting, I felt stronger than I had in weeks. Victor thought he had broken me, but he had no idea what was coming. Game on, old man, game on. The next few weeks were a whirlwind of secret meetings and late-night planning sessions. Olivia, Rebecca, and I operated like a covert team, gathering every shred of evidence we could find on Victor's reign of terror. Okay, let's review, Olivia said one night, spreading papers across her living room floor. We've got the security cam footage of the assault, Rebecca's files on Victor's past interventions, and statements from 3 former employees about his controlling behavior. I nodded, feeling a mix of dread and determination. But we need something current, something that shows he's still at it. Rebecca's eyes lit up. I've got an idea. What if we set up a fake adoption agency? One that Victor would definitely try to bribe. And just like that, Operation Takedown Victor was born. We rented an office and set up shop, with Olivia playing the role of the agency's director. It didn't take long for Victor to come sniffing around. I'm concerned about my son and daughter-in-law's application, he said, his tone dripping with fake concern. I have some information that might be relevant to their suitability. Olivia played her part perfectly. Oh, and what kind of information would that be, Mr. Thompson? Olivia asked, her voice cool and professional. Victor leaned in, lowering his voice as if sharing some dark secret. Let's just say I'm willing to make a sizable donation to ensure the right decision is made. Gotcha, you old snake, I thought, hiding my satisfaction. With the bribery attempt now recorded, we were ready for the final act. Victor was hosting a large family gathering where he planned to announce Michael's promotion within the family business. It was the perfect stage for our little drama. As Victor stood to make his speech, I glanced at Rebecca and gave her a nod. She clicked a button, and the large screen behind Victor flickered to life. First, the footage of Victor shoving me down the stairs played for everyone to see. Guests filled the room. Then the video cut to him trying to bribe our fake adoption agency. Finally, a montage of testimonies from people he had hurt over the years played, each story more damning than the last. The room erupted into chaos. Victor's face went from confusion to fury, and then panic. "This is all lies," he bellowed, his voice shaking with rage. "Michael, tell them this isn't true." But Michael just stood there, frozen, looking utterly shell-shocked. For once he had no words. That's when Elena, Victor's wife, did something no one expected. She stood up, walked over to me, and took my hand. "No more, Victor," she said, her voice trembling but resolute. "I won't let you hurt anyone else." The aftermath was intense. Domestic violence organizations and adoption agencies quickly picked up the story. Victor's reputation was shattered, and he was facing serious legal consequences for his actions. Michael didn't fare much better. Once people found out he had stood by while his father assaulted me, the court of public opinion turned on him hard. As for me, well, life has a funny way of working out. 1 year later, I'm sitting in the backyard of my new house, watching my adopted daughter Zoe play with her aunt Rebecca. Olivia's inside, probably raiding my fridge as usual. Elena calls from the patio. "Lunch is ready, everyone." As we gather around the table, I can't help but marvel at my new family. It's not what I expected, but it's so much more than I ever hoped for. Victor is serving time for assault and bribery, and Michael is struggling to rebuild his life. Though that's no longer my concern. As for me, I've found my calling. I now run a support program for adopted children and survivors of domestic violence at my school. Sometimes, the worst experiences in life lead you to your true purpose. As Zoe climbs into my lap babbling about her day, I realize something important. Family isn't about blood or legacy. It's about love, support, and standing up for what's right. And that's a legacy I'm proud to pass on. Now that Cassandra's journey has come to an end, here's a question for you. If you discovered a family member was actively sabotaging your life plans and had a history of abusive behavior, would you expose them publicly or handle it privately? It's a tough call, right? Public exposure might protect others but could tear your family apart. Handling it privately might preserve relationships but allow the cycle of abuse to continue. Where do you draw the line between family loyalty and justice? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm really curious to hear what you think. If this tale of family drama and triumph over adversity got you thinking, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories that challenge your perspective on family loyalty and doing what's right. Trust me, there's plenty more where this came from.